everyone, and thank you so much for checking out today's video. I am assuming if you are checking out today's video, you have an interview coming up in the next few days or weeks, and you're literally overthinking the interview process, from what type of questions they're going to ask you, how many questions they may ask you, if you're going to have a panel interview, a single person interviewing you. It may be your first interview after graduating from high school or college, and you just need some help and advice. Don't worry, I got you. I got you in today's video. I have been on several interviews and I have been offered the job after completing the interview. So I am pretty experienced with, completing interviews. So I just want to help you get that job and be successful, and just not being as nervous and being confident during the interview process. It really isn't that bad, and hopefully today's video will just make you feel that more confident in knowing that you can land your next position. All right, I'll catch you all in a minute. So always remember that the interview panel members are people just like you. We are all created equally, so you just want to keep that in the back of your head that yes, this person may be a senior level member in the organization. They may be a supervisor, director. Who cares what their title is? That is not important. The important piece of information to take from rule number 1 is to remember that they are people just like you. The daily responsibilities that they may have could be the same as yours. They get up in the morning, they get dressed, they spend time with their family, they put their clothes on. Just keep that in mind, because you want to remain calm, you want to remain positive and just confident during the interview. Don't even let that cross your mind on who this person is that's interviewing you. Don't even make that a major focus for you, okay? So let's move on to rule number 2. Please be on time for your interview. Be on time. I remember in high school, my band director shared a very important quote, and I never, ever forgot it. And I abide by this quote. It is, to be on time is to be late. To be early is to be on time. I'll say it again. To be on time is to be late. To be early is to be on time. So to just give you all a simple example of that, say I have an interview as an administrative assistant, and the interview is scheduled, an in-person interview, for 11 a.m., right? And I am parking my car, and I still have to find the building and check in to the interview, and right now it's 10:50 a.m. and I only have 10 minutes to do all that. I have to still park the car, find where the interview is being located in 10 minutes. That is a major red flag. Major red flag. Because during an interview, you always want to make sure, personally for me, I would recommend always getting there at least 15 to 30 minutes early, if you can. Well, you better. Because that's going to reflect your character to the panel members who are interviewing you. If you are coming in rushing, you are out of breath, you're hot, it's just like you're all over the place. You want to make sure that you allow yourself enough time, because that will remove any, well, not remove completely. I mean, you'll still be a little nervous for the interview, but it will just decrease highly. It will decrease highly your anxiety from wondering if you're going to make it on time. Because I know for a fact that some people who are late, 2 minutes late, 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, whatever it may be, the interview panel may not even choose to interview you. So that is just not a good look. Not a good look at all. My advice also is, if you know what time and date the interview is, work your schedule around that date and time. You want to give a first good impression, especially during the interview, just so they can show that you are responsible. You have great time management skills, and you can successfully make it to a meeting on time. So just keep that in mind when you know your time and date for your interview. I want to add on to rule 2 is that make sure that you know your travel arrangements. So if your interview is maybe 45 minutes to an hour away, you have travel arrangements made way ahead of time. Way ahead of time. So if you're either carpooling, you're taking Uber, Lyft, you're driving yourself, or taking the metro, make sure you know how you're getting to the interview ahead of time. That will also just cut down on your anxiety for being even more nervous for the interview. We want to lessen the anxiety for the interview. So just make sure you have your method of transportation prepared and ready to go way beforehand. Okay? Okay. So rule number 3 is to research the company that you are interviewing for. What is their mission statement? Where are their core values? What do they believe in? What's important to them? It's important to do this because you don't want to just be blindsided if they ask the question of, you know, why do you want to work for our company or organization? That's a really popular interview question. And if you do not do your research on the company, it may just throw you completely off. So I definitely recommend going to the company's website, and they usually just have like an about section, and they have their mission statement, their core values. They may have charity programs. They may have different outreach programs, employee incentives, employee appreciation day, whatever it may be on the company website. You just want to make sure that you are notate a few bullets in a notebook, a journal, whatever it may be. Take notes on the company. Because for me personally, I'm saying to write it down because I tend to memorize things when I write it down on paper. But I do want to give an example. Let me see. Let me think of one. Okay, so say if the company has like donations that they make yearly to the local food bank, or they have a donation during the holiday season, you can say, well, I did see on your company website that the company donates to the local food bank, because I also donate to a food bank just to give back to the community. It's so important to me, and to uplift and help others, you know, during the holiday season or during times of need. So I really do appreciate and like the company for that reason. See how simple that was? So simple. That was so simple, but the interview panel members will love it. Trust me, they will love that you took the time to do that extra step. And it was simple. I would say it would take 4 minutes, 5 minutes to look at the company online and to just take down your notes. Down to rule 4, which is so important. Print out the job posting. You want to print out the job posting and highlight the key description items. So I know I just have listed if they had a desired skill set. Is it, you know, communication? Is it verbal communication, oral communication? Do they want you to be proficient in Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint? Are they requesting you have a basic knowledge of a human resources system or an IT system, logistics system, whatever it may be? You know that when you applied to this job, you're being contacted for an interview because they must have saw on your resume some correlation to that job posting. So what I highly recommend is to print out that job posting and just highlight keywords, because most likely, I would say 95% chance that they're going to ask you about that specific skill set that they are requesting. It may be anything from, well, we do require a basic knowledge of such and such system. Tell me about a time in which you used the system to complete a task. Whatever the question may be, I guarantee it will be a question in regards to systems and their desired skill set from the job posting. So make sure that you follow that rule. Rule 5 is you want to list your current skill sets and expand on it. What type of systems are you advanced at using? So that correlates with rule number 4, definitely. You want to just take the time For me, I like personally writing in a book or journal, whatever it may be. You just want to make sure that you get your ideas on paper. I guarantee you that's going to help you so much during the interview. They're going to realize that you came prepared and that you are ready to land this job. Trust me, trust me. It takes work, I would say pre-work, to get the job. If you don't do none of this pre-work, it's not, you may have a chance of getting a job, but if you do the pre-work and listen to the rules that I am telling you, it is a high chance that you're going to get called to be selected for that position. Trust me. I'll also say, going back to rule number 5, interview panel members like when you expand on a topic or what you've done in the past. Just don't say, oh, well, I use Microsoft Word to type a briefing or a memorandum. They don't want to hear basic information like that. Expand on it. Expand on, well, I typed this project or this memorandum and I made sure that it was sent in early to meet a deadline. I also got it reviewed ahead of time, and just tell them the outcome of what happened. Your supervisor they thanked you for your timeliness in getting the memorandum to them. Or let's relate it to something else. Say if you are responsible for scheduling meetings for a supervisor, and you just don't want to say, well, I've scheduled meetings for a supervisor. They want more than that. So you just want to say, well, during the week I am responsible for scheduling the weekly meetings for my team, and I ensure that team members are available. I send the calendar meeting invites in advance, and I make sure that the meeting is scheduled ahead of time. Whatever it may be, you just want to expand as much as you can on that certain topic for what they may ask you. Whatever question they may ask you, expand on the answer. Okay? Trust me, it will work in your favor. Rule 6. During the interview, you want to make sure that you are making eye contact and you are speaking clearly, not too fast, not too slow, but in a consistent pattern. You want to just make sure you're not talking too fast or slow. So just pace yourself. Breathe. I always recommend bringing a bottle of water. They may say that they have bottled water, but just always bring a bottle of water. It is okay to take a sip of water. We're nervous during the interview. That's a natural thing. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a sip of water now because I'm thirsty. Whew. And that's just being natural. You're naturally going to be thirsty, and they don't mind that. Like, they understand it's a lot of pressure right now getting through these questions. So drinking water is okay. But no, seriously, going back to the eye contact and oral communication, eye contact is so important. Now remember, if you bring like a portfolio book or just like a nice professional briefing book, I'll insert a picture of what you should bring here in the video. You can refer to that because remember, you're going to have your notes written in that book. That's going to be your saving grace to get through the interview. Now you can look down at that book and then you're going to look back up. Just be like, okay. And then you look back up at them. Make eye contact with everybody on the panel. If you have a single person, just make eye contact with them. That is going to just show them that you're confident and that you have the confidence and that you are doing a great job completing this interview. You are keeping it professional, you're remaining professional, and you are just proving to yourself that you are getting through these questions and you're almost done with the interview. So making that eye contact is key. It's essential to show that you are being serious and that you should be taken seriously to be selected for this position. And I would say for oral communication, I already touched on like the pace of everything, but just make sure that you try not to stumble, on your words. I know that can happen sometimes, but what I would say is, the question, because usually when they interview, there is one question, but there's 2-3 questions in that one question, if that makes sense. So if you answer part 1 of that question and you have to get through the other 2 parts, just nicely ask, well, can you just repeat that 2nd and 3rd question for me one more time? Pause for a minute, take it all in, pause, and then proceed with your answer. Then you can say, okay, thank you so much, and then give them the detailed answer. Remember, detailed. So hopefully that helps. Rule 7. So before your interview, like I said, you're going to have a notebook and you're going to have all your notes written down, and you are going to practice what I told you. So let's think. We are going to be practicing just detailing our current skill sets, what we are advanced at, what we're proficient at, what are the skill sets that we currently have, what are scenarios and things that we have accomplished on our previous jobs or internships or school projects, whatever it may be. You want to practice it and say it out loud. You're going to interview yourself in the mirror with a family member prior to the interview, and you're going to be so prepared because you're going to have everything listed in this notebook, from, like I said, your current skill set, different projects you've been assigned, different tasks that you have completed successfully. You want to have examples. You can never have enough examples in the interview. I will also say that you want to make sure that you are overly prepared for the interview than underprepared. Because I know at one time I had an interview and I was just giving so many examples and talking so much. I said, did I answer all the questions? They said, yeah. Oh, that is great. Like, I was giving so many examples from my previous employment. And don't leave any room for question for the interview panel members. Expand. And rule 8, my last rule, you want to believe in yourself. You want to know who you are coming into this interview. During the interview, remain calm. Have that confidence. Have that personality in which they say, I really want him or her. You want to leave a lasting impression on the panel members or the single person interviewing you. You want to be memorable. And I would say for being memorable, you want to just be yourself. Have fun. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink the questions. I think a really key, I keep saying everything's so important. There's just so much I want to say. I may make a part 2 later, but you want to be memorable, and that's the easiest way to be memorable is to be yourself. You may have, a little laugh or a little joke to tell. Well, nothing too crazy, but just to lighten the mood. That's okay. You want to smile. You want to act like you are happy to be here. Even though you are nervous AF, you are still happy and you're grateful to be in the position to be interviewed. Let that be known. At the end of the interview, say, I thank you all so much for interviewing me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. It was a pleasure interviewing with you all. Thank you so much. And I look forward to hearing from you all. They love that. Just don't get up, thank you so much, shake their hand and leave. No, don't do that. Do what I just said. And that will leave a memorable impression, because that shows that you are genuinely interested in the job. And just having that positive attitude. Don't be negative, because people can truly get the sense of when you are not happy, when you are not confident. You want to, like I said, the eye contact is important. Oral communication. Just knowing that you are confident, you're prepared, it's going to make it 10 times easier for you during your interview. I promise. I've been going on interviews for many years, and it gets easier. I would say that interviews get easier. Yes, you may not know the exact questions they're going to ask you. We don't know. We're not supposed to know the exact questions they may ask you. But if you prepare and you highlight the skill sets in the job posting and you write down different examples that you experienced at your previous jobs, your internships, your whatever it may be, school, whatever, volunteer services, I am 95% sure that you can relate that experience to the questions they're going to ask you. And I will also say that Google interview questions that may be relevant to the position you are going to be interviewing for. So if you are in IT, just Google example interview questions that may be asked during an IT interview. There are so many resources to rely on and look for. You just can't be lazy. You can't be lazy. You can't expect to just be unprepared, go to the interview 2 minutes before it starts and think that you may get the job. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get this. I mean, you may. I'm not saying you're not, but I just find that being overly prepared just makes it better and easier for you to just feel accomplished that you did a great job. Now, I hope that you all enjoyed today's video. If you thought today's video was helpful and you're actually going to jot down, you know, in a journal or a notebook, everything that I've listed for you all today, I hope you do that. Let me know down below in the comment section. It is your girl Paris, and I thank you so much for checking out today's video. I hope you find it helpful, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.